Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw. I'm here at Virtuoso Travel Week, and look who I bumped into. Jerry Mifune, who's the president, North American Hub for South Africa Tourism. And we've interviewed Jerry many times in the past, but we thought we'd get a little update on what's going on with South Africa today and where you can send your clients and a whole lot more on Insider Travel Report. Anyway, Jerry, great to see you here.
Always exciting, James. Yeah. Good to see you. And Travel Week. I mean, exciting. Good energy. Good energy.
Yeah, and we said next year we're gonna interview in South Africa. That's a guarantee.
Next time we do this in Durban, right?
That's it. In Durban, it'll be much better. Anyway, so let's kick this off by how visitation from specifically North America has been to South Africa so far this year.
So, James, the good news is that we're seeing some fantastic numbers coming out of North America. So everybody came out of lockdown. You know, there was a time everybody thought, geez, what's going to happen to travel?
Yeah.
Thankfully, here we are, travel's back.
Right.
Americans are traveling. And in the case of South Africa, we are happy to report that year to date, we're tracking close to 90%, 95%. Of our pre-lockdown numbers. So
wow, so that's great. So you're almost back. Yeah.
We cooking. Thank you.
And I know every survey has South Africa on that bucket list, and they want to, when they come back, they want to go there. So
indeed, in fact, what we've seen is not only people out of the US wanting and coming to South Africa in big numbers, they are now, in the context of South Africa, staying the longest of any traveler.
Maybe spending more
and spending more than any traveler arriving in South Africa, so we're excited about that.
That's great. Now, you got to get there, of course. How's the flight situation so far been to get those flights back to direct flights from from U.S. to South Africa?
That's another piece of good news in that, working in collaboration with the airline partners, we work with everyone. We talk about the folk who fly direct out of the US to South Africa. Delta Airlines have increased their frequencies on the Atlanta to Johannesburg route. They also now fly directly Atlanta to Cape Town.
Oh, that's great. I gotta go.
So those two separate routes are doing very well for us. Multiple frequencies per week to those two cities out of Atlanta, and then of course you've got United Airlines, which interestingly launched a few of their routes during parts of the lockdown.
Really?
So their confidence in this in our market has been demonstrated by that. So they fly out of New York area into Johannesburg direct. They fly out of New York area into Cape Town direct, and then of course recently launched the Washington to Cape Town direct. So a few options for folk who want to travel directly to South Africa. And then the European carriers, always an option.
Yeah, to go through Europe.
To go through Europe. So whether it's the KLM Group, British Airways, Virgin Airlines, you can fly via Europe into South Africa. And then we work very closely with our partners in the Gulf. So if you wanted to fly either Etihad,
so Qatar, Etihad, Emirates.
Okay. You can fly via the Gulf and get to South Africa. Many options for Americans to get to.
Those are all great options. And of course, one of the questions we also get is what's going on with South African Airways, because they kind of pulled out of the market, at least in terms of having an office. They have a representative in the year. But what's the latest on what South African Airways is doing?
Yeah, unfortunately, I suppose together with a few other airlines, South African Airways suffered the lockdown. The good news is, as we came out of lockdown, re-established themselves domestically, flying frequently, doing well domestically, expanded their reach into the region and rest of Africa, fully fledged flying the African continent as we speak, which is fantastic. They're busy building their balance sheet, acquiring more big aircraft. By the close of this year, they'll be flying into South America, São Paulo specifically, and we're hoping we get them back to JFK next year.
Yeah, well, I always enjoyed going South African Airways because you usually get a bit of South Africa before you head it, and that's the way I've only gone in the past and many years ago. But yeah, hopefully they can come back big strong. I know that JFK, I even think they had a Miami flight too, right?
Spot on.
Yeah.
So we love South African Airways, particularly for that reason. They allow us the opportunity as we market the destination to give the traveler a taste of South Africa as they leave their home soil, all the way enjoying their holiday, enjoying tasting, feeling, hearing, sensing South Africa on that flight. That's why we love South African Airways. Can't wait to have them back.
Well, let's see what happens there. Hopefully it's going to come back soon. Any big marketing themes that our travel advisors should know about what you're doing this year in terms of marketing South Africa?
I mentioned that we're seeing growth here. So the US is now South Africa's fastest growing overseas market. So we're loving the growth and long may it last. What's interesting demographically coming out of this market is that we're seeing the majority of travelers in that 25 to 45 age group. We haven't lost our old travelers. We haven't lost anyone who's been coming to South Africa enjoying, great safari, 5-star safari, etc. What we've seen is a great expansion into sort of the mid-tier traveler coming in, enjoying sort of, our 3-4-star properties, experiences, and so on. And then, of course, in line with global trend is particularly referencing that 25 to 45 demographic, is the growth in adventure travel.
Yeah, well, of course, and you got none of that there. I mean, absolutely. I mean, there's a ton of adventure travel.
So people always ask me about safari. They ask my colleagues about safari. Well, I can tell them, if you're into adventure as well as safari, you can actually combine those and do, walking trails, hiking trails. There's cycling through parks. Obviously, still managed via professional rangers and so forth for safety, for sustainability reasons. But if you're into safari and adventure, we're the destination for you.
Well, I got to tell you, my adventure travel experience in South Africa dates from many years ago. Actually, when Virtuoso was first there, I did a rappelling down Table Mountain. And that was my contribution to adventure travel at that time. I don't know if I'll do it again. I'm a lot older now. So
next time you come out, we make sure that you do some shark cage diving. How's that?
Fair is fair. I guess that's it. Now, one of the other markets I want to talk to you briefly about is you are making a pitch also to Black Americans to kind of go back and discover South Africa for the first time. I know we've helped you do some marketing on that end, right?
Indeed. So we market to a range of audience segments in this in the US and North America. We talk about LGBTQ travel.
I know we've done some work on that.
We're a destination for LGBTQ travelers for sure. We talk about family travel. We talk about multi-generational travel. We've just spoken adventure. Of course, African Americans love to visit South Africa. On their exit interviews, they tell us that they love South Africa because they can connect with their homeland. Love South Africa because they can connect with people. Love South Africa because they feel seen and find that there's a higher order experience with visiting the destination. It's not just another holiday. They do feel some kind of a very special connection with their home.
Yeah, and it is absolutely true. And we did a little help with you on the marketing side that came out, and we're doing it more, trying to kind of look at those different markets that you kind of really are focusing on. Jerry, anything else you want to tell our 123,000 travel advisors out there about South Africa today?
Never been a time to be visiting. South Africa is open for business. We're at Virtuoso now, selling new propositions, selling new properties. We cry about lockdown, as we should. The good news is that the big operators have reinvested in their properties. Buildings are looking cleaner, shinier, ready for the traveler. The other interesting fact is, which is very important from a South Africa standpoint as a developing nation, is that as we came out of lockdown, new entrants into the sector, new experiences, new properties, And that's what travel and tourism is about in the context of South Africa.
Absolutely. Well, it's all good news. Jerry, it's great to see you here, and I guarantee you, we may interview before then, but next year, next May, I think it's May, we're going to do Durban at Indaba, and we're going to finally do right in your
I'll send you straight into the shark cage.
Send me straight on the shark cage.
Then we go hiking in the bush.
It sounds good if I survive the shark cage, but I think I will. But anyway, Jerry, again, great to see you. Thank you for taking the time.
Appreciate you, and have a great travel week.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.